All right, you guys, we are going to go ahead and get started. And as always, thank you for taking time out on this Sunday to tune in for this team training webinar. I know it isn't always convenient, but I'm telling you, it's these little sacrifices in your time and your rituals and things like that that will absolutely help to grow your ViSalus business. So we will not keep you very long tonight, probably about 30 minutes or so. But tonight, Eric and I wanted to both come to you and share with you some really valuable information that we've been getting from this book called The Power of Story. And I was led to this book because we had read the other book that this gentleman has written called The Power of Full Engagement, which, again, is an amazingly impactful book. And this book is extremely great too. So add this to your reading list. Put this in your book, in your library of books that you're collecting, because this is a really, really great book. And he just shares some really great stories of people that he has come across doing his research. And there are so many stories in there that you can't only relate to one. You'll really be able to relate to a lot of the stories in there, whether they're people with a corporate background or a stay-at-home mom, male, female, all different types of stories that you guys will be able to relate to. So we just wanted to really bring you one particular segment of this book that specifically shares how to form your story, because something that you've heard me talk about before, if you were at the local training yesterday, we touched on it a little bit yesterday, but you really having a powerful story and being able to share other people's stories is, again, where the success of your ViSalus business is going to come from. Because, like I always say, and like I heard a long time ago, facts tell, stories sell. And that is exactly what we do. We do not go out and bombard people with a bunch of facts, even though we have a ton of science and research to back the ViSalus products, unless that person is a scientist or biologist or chemist or physicist or someone that is already thinking in a scientific way. It will probably not move them to want to join the challenge. But just really being able to understand that people make every single decision that they make based on how they feel. Then we justify it with our logic, and our mind. But every single decision that we make is based on our emotions. So the more emotions that you can elicit when you are sharing your story and other stories of people that you either personally know or videos that you've seen on Facebook or YouTube of other people that are on the challenge and the results that they're getting, that is what is going to draw people in. That is going to want, that is what people are going to want more of. They're going to want to hear more stories, okay? That's why they watch television. That's why they read novels. That's why reality TV is so big, is because people love to watch what is going on in other people's lives. So what better stories to be able to share than the complete transformations that are going on our team and company-wide in ViSalus. So we're going to go ahead and start to break this information down. This is the one slide that we're going to be covering tonight, and it's very specifically going to teach you how to create your story. So Eric and I are just going to kind of chime in back and forth here. So let me go ahead and bring Eric over here. You ready, babe? All right. I'll share this seat.
Okay. All right. How's it going, everyone, this evening? Guys, if you came to the training this weekend, then we ran out of time. We really couldn't hit this topic on the head, but we sort of started dabbling at it. And throughout your training, the Getting Started training, I sort of incorporated some of the concepts behind what we're going to talk about today. And really, as you can see with this slide here, I mean, this is everything. This is exposed you to everything we're going to talk about. There really are no slides that come after this, because the goal here is to get this thing off the ground with steps that you can apply from now until next Sunday, as opposed to some 12-month training course stuffed into the next 20 minutes, and that is not the goal. The goal is not to overwhelm anyone with this information, and this is super important. Everything I'm going to teach you tonight is something that you can do to accelerate or add on, to reinforce, or to expand on what you're currently doing, which should be the basics, okay? A lot of people, we're going to be talking about Facebook. Most of this is going to apply to Facebook in a big way. And that's what pretty much everyone asks for. How do we do this? What are we doing? And how do we make this work on Facebook? So let's first get down to the nitty-gritty of the objective of this whole thing. Creating your story, as you guys know, it's really taking your why to the next step, okay? Because having a why is really the start. And I know a lot of you are, started with creating a great why, and you kind of finished there. And then some folks created a why, and over time started to realize that why became a story. You see, because it wasn't just, here's why I do it. I do it because my kids need me home, and I want more money for some time freedom, and my spouse and I would love to have more time together and be debt free. Oh yeah, I was feeling that, huh? You guys feeling that? That's exactly what a why would sound like if there were no story. So the idea is what you're really doing is going on the whole concept of facts tell, stories sell. See, the reality is the facts are all the same for just about everyone. Everyone needs more money, more time, more health, right? And everyone's too busy, too broken, and too out of shape, right? So really, everyone has the same facts going on. However, they don't really notice facts. They notice stories because, like Alyse said, a story is something you're going to feel. So what we're going to talk about today is how to take your life and create that story. And it's your story. I mean, you're not, there's two ways to look at this. And this is a write down. It's something you might want to really consider. One is the story you're living now, and one is the story that you'd like to live.
That you're creating right now. It's just in the process.
Exactly. Here's some key words that you want to use. I'm on my way. Okay? I'm on my way suggests where you're going. And it's very important that you show movement when you're talking about creating a story, because the power behind the story is that, as you guys know, your why is it's everything about this business. And what I'm going to get in tonight, and what you have seen on Facebook, you guys realize that what we're doing, we're kind of turning that why inside out, and we're just expanding on it. And we're just just drawing it out and just reinforcing it and building on it, and repetition, just reminding people of the same why we do this. And we haven't really spelled it out. And in fact, our personal approach, hopefully, it should say exactly why we do it without us really saying why we do it.
Well, and it's kind of like just sitting here listening. It's like you're creating a movie, and your why is kind of the subject of what the movie is. But then you want to get the characters involved. You want to really, like Eric said, you want to direct it, produce it, create it. So it's something that really, really draws people in.
That's right. So let's talk about how to do that. And really, after we talk about the basics on how we do that, which I'm not going to spend as much time on as I'm going to spend how to actually use it. I mean, what to do with it. Okay. So first thing, let me take one step back, because I mentioned the idea that we're going to be applying this to Facebook primarily. And there's two ways to look at this. One is you have your ground game and you have your air game. Okay, so on your ground game side, you're going to have, and if you wrote this out, you draw a little line between the two. It'd be a little T, left side, right side type of deal, and then you can kind of list your benefits and the different tools and things that and strategy you might be using in each column. Okay, so if you look at your ground game, you have a ground game and an air game. The ground game is really where it's at, and that's your challenge parties. That's you on the phone.
FaceTime.
That's FaceTime. That's you even messaging people if you can't really get to them. But it's still you making direct contact. People hearing your voice. You interacting with people directly. Okay. Your air game is what's happening on Facebook, and that's basically what's happening when you're not directly involved. Okay. Because even your comments, you are engaging people, and even though you're not face-to-face on a comment, you are personally engaging them. However, that's still all an air game. Because in the end, we all know that in order to do this properly, in order to in order to apply the basics with ViSalus and be successful and provide that foundation that your business needs to grow, it has to happen on the ground. It's going to happen at a challenge party. Okay, and one thing that I when we first started this, we were doing this almost solely online years ago. You guys know we dabbled with ViSalus like almost 2.5 years ago, and we did it primarily online. We weren't doing challenge parties. We just thought we were smart enough to do this thing totally online, and so therefore I had a conversation with Kyle Passetti. This was interesting because at the time Kyle, we were all just getting on board with ViSalus, and Kyle was just getting going, and he had a conversation with me. He said, you guys are really good at the online stuff. He said, I think that's awesome. He said, but if I could give you some advice, he said, I would use my Facebook to really locate people and to bring people out of the woodwork. He said, and then I would make my way over to them. He said, no matter where they're at in the country, I would build my business and get to a point or challenge them to do something that qualified you to jump on the plane and get to them. He said, because the idea of face-to-face is just, you can't beat it, and it's not going to work without it. And honestly, I didn't believe him. I remember telling Alyse, I don't believe it, because I thought that I was seeing people do it solely online. Because you guys see a lot of people out there, I sponsored X amount of people using my internet strategy and all this, and you seem to think that they're growing the business and they're doing everything totally online. And in fact, they're not. Because they're not talking about challenge parties and things. And so here's what's going on. Your Facebook and this whole air game, that's going to do two things. It's going to locate people for you. It's going to generate leads, generate prospects. It's going to open a door for you to have conversations. Okay, so you can so your story that you're actually going to be sharing, whether it be verbal or whether it be using some of the techniques that I'm going to share with you today. These things, your air game is to locate prospects, to bring people out of the woodwork, to create or expand your warm market, right? So you can get people who know you before you even know them. And the further you push this story out, the more you're expanding that warm market, which means that by the time many of these people start having contact with you, they're already believing the story. They already know that it's true because they're seeing it happen. Okay, because you're not just putting a picture here and there every once in a while. In order to create your story and in order to market your story effectively, this is something that needs to become consistent so that people can bank on it. Because they're going to they're going to expect to see you next week or tomorrow or every other day or whatever your plan is. But whatever it is, you want to be consistent. And I'll share with you what some ideas that you might want to implement. So let's get into talking about creating a story. You guys know that your story has to do with what's most important to you, and without a doubt. But I want to certainly caution you and make sure you're aware that what's important to you might be important to, say, 20% of your prospects. Okay, maybe 25, maybe 40%. Okay, but the story you want to create, you want it to resonate with 80% of the people. Right? That doesn't mean 80% of people are going to do something, but basically saying you want to hit the broad stroke of things. Okay? And the reason why I say that, because as a personal trainer, I could go into this thing and just really start talking about how I just really wanted to work with my clients and improve their performance so they can get more reps and push-ups and more burpees and high-lows and do it all and to actually be able to double how many reps they can get in 30 seconds. I mean, like, what does that mean to you? Right? That's going to fit probably 2% of the population, right? So that's an extreme example, but if it's making sense to you, because we have nurses in the business, and we have people, other technicians in the business, and I tell you, it's interesting because remember, like people don't necessarily connect with exactly what it is that you are your number one thing. So a broad stroke means this. This means that you're going to be targeting, of course, the topics of health. You're going to be targeting the topics of fitness, topics of wealth. These are the main things that you're talking about. Why? Because the main two focuses are health and wealth. And what that means to people, it will vary. And I tell you, health and fitness really isn't the same for most people. I'll be perfectly honest.
Most people hear fitness and they can't even relate to that word.
Right. So very important. So really you can see that in 3 different terms. And so even when we have our folks to set their goals, we go for cosmetic goals, things that about the appearance. We go for performance goals, things that they want to achieve, things they want to do, things they want to apply that physical conditioning or that new level of health to. We talk about financial goals, talking about where you want to go with this, as far as financially, what do you want this to do for your family? Because all these things are going to be used to create a story. Now, one thing that once you start to put this together, I want you to understand that, because a lot of people don't understand this as well, is that they jump into this with, like, for instance, because we know that we want to generate income with this, they tend to not be aware of the fact that a good commercial is going to be 80% relation, 80% relating to the person, 80% of the focus is to relate to the person who's watching it. It's typically only 10-20% of it selling an actual product or a call to action, I should say. And a call to action is basically asking people, inviting people to a challenge party, asking anyone whether they want free samples, things like that. In general, you want to flip that. You really want them to give you permission to offer it before you offer it, which means you're likely, now I'm not stepping on any toes because I know people have some success with this and some folks have a lot of success with it, but you'll probably notice that Alyse and I have never made an offer on the pages of Facebook. Okay, so not to say that now, don't get me wrong, challenge parties, invitations, things like that, I think it's absolutely fantastic, but I don't really see this in our team. But if you're new and you're not aware of this, the idea of doing a direct sort of blast, who wants to sign up for the shake type of post, that'll really scare people away, because you had something to say?
Oh, well, finish. It was a little different.
Okay, so here's the reason why. The reason why is because you want to develop a long-term strategy, and you want to develop this around your story. Okay, so let's get into this, and this will make a lot more sense as we go about it.
Well, real quick, let me just remember, guys, this is nothing different than we do in your getting started training. Is what is your story? On page 1, we set a physical goal and we set a financial goal. So all you're doing is taking those goals that you set from your getting started training and you're applying them to a story. So here's the deal. If that is something that you have not done, maybe you don't know what physical goal to set. Maybe you don't know what's realistic that you can achieve over 90 days. Same with your financial story. Get with us because we want to make it very clear for you. You want to be very, very distinct in what your goals are and very solid that you can achieve them as you're going out there and sharing them with people.
That's right. And the reality is that people are going to be monitoring your movement in general. They're not holding you accountable to some particular number, but by you having that focus and that intent, you'll create the movement that will draw people's attention. So let's just look at number 1 and consider the fact that if you're already in the business, that you generally know your why and you already started creating your story. So I'm going to teach you how to actually share this story, okay, and how to market this story. So the next question you want to think about after you've put this story together, because many of you have your why. Here's a question.
I'm sorry, hold on. Have like a short version and a long version to your story, okay? Because there's going to be instances where you'll literally have 1 minute to make that impression on that person. So that's where you share the short version of your story, whether it's results you've gotten already, results you're shooting for, whatever it is, have your little, 45-second commercial story that you share with people. Then, whether it's at a challenge party or you're sitting down one-on-one with someone or you're really having a conversation and they really want to hear your full story, that's where you can expand and give the big version. So just putting it out there now to have a short version and a long version.
That's right. It's your elevator. It's your elevator speech. Yep. Okay, so here's the number 2. Who knows your story? And this is very important. I'll shed some light on this for you. I just looked at some of the statistics at our YouTube page, and it just hit right on the head. It was 35 to 55. It's like just about everyone who is watching the channel is 35 to 55. So that tells me that people between the ages of 35 to 55 are people who are listening to my story. But here's the thing. You guys are on Facebook and you have these wonderful whys, these wonderful stories, but who knows your story, right? If you guys work with me on a daily basis, you know that one thing I'm really big on is making sure you're public with your goals, right? And that's your story. For many of you right now, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about going public with your story. Because if you're CIA or you're undercover with your story and you're just kind of, hanging out on Facebook and you're commenting on other people's posts and things like that, and, you're showing up, but you're not really standing out and saying, okay, well, here's my story. You'll find that, you're putting a lot of time in on Facebook, and you'll feel like you're really being busy, but at the end of the day, are you really generating leads? Are you really generating new prospects? Are you expanding your warm market? Are you having people message you and ask you questions? Are you having new faces show up in your feeds, or friends that you haven't heard from ask you questions in your feeds and things like that? In order for you to make that happen, because that's really what it's all about, because once that happens, remember, then a conversation kicks in. Then everything else is right back to the basics. So if you're using your story to actually generate leads on Facebook, this is how you want to do it. And I'll tell you, I shared this story just a couple weeks ago. Alyse had a lady to connect with her on Facebook, and I don't know from where. She just
randomly. I actually commented on something, and she saw it.
And so, long story short, she wound up meeting this woman. Was it the same day, next day?
It was the next day.
The very next day, like face to face. I mean, this is really happening. So let's talk about this. Who knows your story? Here, when you don't share your story, like beyond your Facebook page, the only people that generally are seeing this story are people who already are in your tribe or in your circle, which is us. Okay, so let's talk about how to share this story. You guys have seen a ton of pictures flying around on Facebook recently. You're seeing people putting up videos on Facebook. You're seeing people tagging these videos and sharing, and I'll explain to you what this means. Guys, here's what's going on. When you share your story with one friend properly, so that you're placing this strategically on their wall because you have permission, that it's statistically shown that if this person, the average person, is going to have at least 100 of their friends to see what you post. Okay. Now, if it's something in writing and it's a paragraph, yeah, 100 people might see it, but might not really get what it was. So that's why I'm really big on pictures and I'm really big on videos, because a picture, at one snapshot, you got 100 people seeing you involved in your story, which is stimulating something emotional in them, which is really getting them to pay more attention to what their friend is doing who is already connected to you, if that's making sense. Okay? Now, there's two things going on. One, you're helping your friend create curiosity and expand their warm market. And two, this is really cool. Because when you share, say you were to share your story or through a picture, that you're putting up periodically or video, now just imagine you had the permission from 20 of your friends who are not in the business, that you wanted to be able to share your story with them so they can help keep you motivated and so forth. And the way it's real simple. Here's a quick little write down. All you would do is basically explain to them, hey, look, this is what I'm doing. I'm on a 90-day challenge. My goal is to lose, X amount of pounds and lose X amount of inches. As you know, I've been looking to do this for a while, and I finally gotten serious with it, and here's what I'm doing. So what I wanted to do, I wanted to get, you and maybe, 10, 20 other people surrounded around what I'm doing so that you guys are kind of keeping me accountable of what's going on. So here's what's happening. If they're your friends and these are people you know, what's the chance of them saying, no, I'm not interested in seeing this story, I'm not interested in you sharing any pictures, sharing any videos, anything? What's the chance of these folks saying, no, I don't want to be updated in your story? It's very slim that they would say no. So what'd you just do? You just expanded your warm market by not just these 20 people, but potentially 100 people on the other end of each of these 20. So think about it. You can have a couple thousand people. Now, they're not going to comment. Only few are going to comment. But you have a couple thousand people actually watching what's going on that you can pretty much bank on. And you already know what's happening. So therefore, whether you see people commenting, liking, or not, just know it's being seen. And if you were in the room this past weekend, this training, when people shared their story, you'll see these videos, these testimonies. I'd say about 50-60% of the people said that they saw their friends on Facebook and they watched it happening. That was powerful. Was that powerful, babe?
Yeah, it really was.
That was powerful. That reinforced exactly what I believe that was happening. It's an undercurrent that you can't really measure because Facebook doesn't give you the ability to measure how many people are looking at your pictures or how many people are looking at your videos when you load them directly to Facebook. Okay? Very important. And on the biggest end, you're just making another impression. whether they really stop to take a good look at the picture, whether they stop to read the post you made, or whether they actually stop to push play on the video, you're making another impression. And remember, over time, the belief will start to shift. And here's what's happening. Remember, I talked about the formula of belief. It takes repetition, right? But it takes frequency too. So frequency, say that's daily or every other day. And I would recommend daily. It's happening, right? And repetition is how many times is it happening? Yeah, I mean, you don't need to be hanging out all day on Facebook, but you best believe you could spend, 3 15-minute, 20-minute bouts on Facebook, which would be a total of an hour of investment in your business. You can make a lot happen if you focus doing those 15 minutes. You guys notice that I'll go on for intervals at a time, and I'll go in and I'll just hit a barrage of things, kind of laying out my breadcrumbs, and then I'm off doing other work, and then I come back after people's had a chance to respond. And sometimes I'm in action, and there's while it's happening, and there's reasons for that as well, which I'll share with you. But once again, who knows your story? Right? And how many people know your story? That's number 3 that we're just really finishing up, because the number of people that know your story is super important. And here's why. Let's break it down. Before I use this 2,000 person scenario, which you obviously know it can go far beyond that, because if you have a friend, say your friend is Alyse, you think only 100 people look at her pictures or her videos? Come on, really? A lot more people look at those videos and those pictures. So, and you guys know that, and a lot more people look at your videos and your pictures. So the deal is, I'm being very conservative, but if we just went with a scaled down model of, use 1,000 people that you're making an impression on, okay? And say out of 1,000 people, you get 10% of those people to actually, take a closer look, to literally look at the picture, to literally look at the video. And that's 100 people, right? Say you get 10% of those people to actually comment. That's 10 people. Right? That's 10 people commenting, 10, fresh faces, or friends of yours, associates of yours that are at a distance, or maybe, people you work with in a cubicle right next door. Just hadn't been saying anything to you face to face, but it's easier to do things and of course, to snoop around and to basically have their questions answered and curiosity to be scratched online using Facebook. So now you got 10 people messaging you. Now, out of those 10 people, say you get 2 or 3 that actually take a step further, and you can, through conversation, through messaging, you actually have a voice conversation. You get them to watch an overview. Okay, now you have a few people who've seen an overview, and then from that point, statistically speaking, you're likely to get a promoter or a customer. Now, think about it. If that sounds like a tedious process, you might have missed something. These are videos and pictures that you place out in Facebook, and they stay there. They stay there. They're out there forever. So this is constantly working for you. Because remember, when I started this conversation, I talked about the fact that you could use Facebook, or you could use your story online, but you could use it creatively to do basically 2 things. Online, especially Facebook. You could use 1 to generate leads, expand your warm market and so forth. And 2, which is super duper important and very powerful, and I use it every day, is to edify your story. It becomes the third party. You have documented what's going on in your life or in the lives of others, and you actually have this information just sitting right there on your Facebook page. So when your new friends or your new associates or your old friends or whoever comes into your life, you meet them at Best Buy, you talk about computers, and somehow this all comes up and you exchange information. Well, here's the thing. If you have their information, they have your information. Do you really need to shove it down their throat right now? No, trust me. We even as ambassadors in the game, you think I'm going to tell someone I'm an ambassador in this business right there on the spot? You think that's really going to? I mean, most of the time I can't do that. I can't even. I don't get a chance to do it.
And really, the best information that you can have going for you on your business cards is the link to your Facebook. I'll go ahead and touch on this just because it comes up, and this is just a little segue, but if you're out talking to people and you just give them a business card and wait for them to contact you, you're really setting yourself up for that lead to completely, you basically never hear from them again. It would take a really top-notch person to communicate back with you and really connect with you, because they're either going to forget or it's just not important enough. So if when you make that connection, you automatically connect with them on Facebook, and even if you just leave it at that, now you're in their news feed every single day, and they're going to be checking out what you're doing.
And That's right on point. That's exactly what you really want to think about. Because here's the deal. Many of you know all the benefits you have to gain by actually making the call and calling out, right? Well, what if you didn't know all that and you were still expected to be the person to make the call? You see? So the idea is they're likely not to be as excited at right there on the spot. You guys know that. You could talk to 20 people and 5 will be really interested and 3 will be super excited and 2 will do something, right? So in the end, you really want to be able to get it in front of as many sets of 20 people or 100 people as you possibly can and just have them churning through your pictures, your videos and things while you're asleep, so that you're slowly incubating these people and you're bringing them up to a point where they're ready to do what I call drop out of the funnel. Because this is a funnel. It starts at the mouth of the funnel. It starts really wide, and people are all jumping in. They're starting to, look at your feed and see, they're finding you in the feed, and then they come a little further down the funnel, and then they're hanging. That means they're hanging out on your page and looking at your videos. Then they come a little further down the funnel. That means they're commenting on, your post and things like that, and liking stuff. Then they're coming a little further because they're starting to message you, or you've created an opportunity to message them. You see, so you're bringing them closer and closer. So the idea is, once you get this funnel going, this could be popping out at the bottom of your funnel on a daily basis. Now,
and I'm going to, just so you guys know, definitely stay tuned till the end. We're going to go through these last 2, and then I'm actually going to take you to Facebook so you know exactly how to share, tag people, things like that.
That'd be awesome. Okay, so now, talk about how many people know your story. So now you get an idea of that one strategy. It's a tag. It's called tagging. When you put up a picture, Alyse is going to show you later, just write down a quick little notation, tagging. I want to learn how to tag because you guys can tag 50 people. Now, all of you have 50 friends, right? Now, I'm not saying all of you have 50 friends who on your Facebook who are not already in by Alyse or around it or something. Maybe you might be brand new. I don't know. However, most of you have 50 friends. So the idea is get a list together. These are not people that you're calling saying, hey, I want you to buy my shake. I want you to join my 90-day challenge. No, these are folks that you are saying, hey, look, I'm doing it. You know I've been doing it. I'm not asked you to jump on board, do anything like that. All I need you to do is keep an eye out for what I'm doing. And if you see that I need some encouragement, just put in a good word for me, keep me going, let me know that you're watching. That makes a difference. That's it. Right? You're asking permission. Can I actually put my picture on your wall? Can I put my video on your wall? You guys have given me permission to put our pictures and our videos on your wall because it's a win-win. But look at what it's doing. I mean, we got 1,000 views on or over 1,000 views in a 48-hour period on our YouTube channel the other day. That's because you guys are sharing, and it pretty much happened after the training. So this is very powerful stuff, guys. The day before the training and the training leading up to it because the buzz going on. But anyway, this is what's really happening. So anyway, we talk about how many people know your story. You talk about the tagging deal. We'll get into, how to post videos and all that right now. A step at a time. I really think you should start with pictures. You don't have to be a Stephen Barefoot, by the way. He's awesome with his pictures, and you guys know that there's people want to know that you're using a okey doke camera that like theirs, and that what you're doing that they can do. Okay, so the videos that Mike and I create, the pictures that Stephen creates,
any picture I post is right from my phone.
Exactly. That stuff is to really to draw in more excitement, to really have fun, and we just love it. So but the sheer numbers is what your team is looking for. Okay, that is what makes you noticed as a cloud, and not one individual, as a cloud. So our whole team transformation. Okay, so the idea is start with the pictures, get some cool pictures, snap them with your camera, and we're gonna do a coordinated effort. We'll put this out there, but we're likely to do something where you guys are taking pictures at your challenge parties, and we're no matter where you're at, and starting to post these just like we're checking in. If you remember what Alyse did. And how we all change the profiles at the same time and so forth. Stuff like that makes a pop. So imagine your friends who are in your feed, who are also in the feed of other friends who are with the company, who are in by Alyse, who understand the message. Imagine all that happening, pow, right? Pow, consistently. I mean, come on. It's the impact is way bigger than even dripping in between is powerful. It's a must do. But those impacts are like pushes on a skateboard, and that's how you get it going. These big pushes, and then once you get it going, you got the dripping that's going on in between. So we're gonna create some coordinated efforts from here out to the field to get you guys, up to speed on what to do, and also to be prepared to do it with us, and get this thing going. Okay.
Okay, real quick, I just got a message that someone couldn't hear us. Can someone? I didn't get it. Normally, I get a little notation if the idiot, if the audio.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I call GoToWebinar sometimes. If the audio cuts out, so okay, Rhonda, I'm not sure what's up, baby. Make sure you didn't hit the mute button by accident or something. Okay.
Okay.
All right, so let's move on to
number 4.
How often? Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, guys, talk about how often are they reminded of your story. Here's the thing: you want people reminded of your story every day, but that doesn't mean you need to drop a 30-minute epic video every single day. The reality is you can really just stay in the thread of what you've been talking about and stay consistent with your story. So meaning, if you're looking to lose 30 pounds, I mean, just real basic. We used to do this. We used to have people once a week take pictures of the scale, good, bad, or ugly, whether it went down, whether it went up. It created a story. And then it got to a point where people, some people, plateaued a week or two, and they were nervous because they were thinking, man, what if people are thinking this really doesn't work? And it worked even better. It was like dun, 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 because it creates a story, and it shifted the person. They looked deeper into their meal plan and realized that, wow, I can't have, peanut butter with every meal or whatever it may be, and they shared it. They shared what they learned. They shared what they realized. They shared the new stuff that was going on. It gave them a tremendous story to go with. Their inches, everyone knows you're measuring, right? Well, take a picture of the measuring tape when you're measuring your thigh, right? Take a picture of the old one. Take a picture of the new one. How cool is that to see someone's thigh with a measuring tape around it? I mean, come on. People would instantly click on that picture to see what's going on. You see? Think about it, right? It's real basic. Whether it be the scale, whether it be your measuring tape, whether it be pants, let people, if you have extra space in your pants, pull it out to the side, take a picture, show someone, right? So whatever it may be, if you're picking up your BMW, you're out looking for your BMW, take a picture, right? Think about it. This whole thing, this whole ViSalus experience is a story in itself. You're leaving the house, you're on the way to the airport, on the way to Miami. Take some pictures, put them up. Let people know that you are in motion, because motion creates emotion, okay? So how often are they reminded of your story? Every day, frequency, right? How throughout the day, in repetition, I would say at least 3 or 4 times throughout the day.
Well, then on the other side of that, you do not want your profile to become all about ViSalus, okay? Because then you're going to end up turning people off, because they're going to feel like, golly, that's all he or she talks about now, and I don't even know what's going on with their kids. I don't know what's going on with the dog. I don't know when they're having their cookout. So on the other side of that, make sure that you have balance and you are not just talking about ViSalus all the time. And yeah, typically there's an 80-20 rule, but I'll tell you, I think we've seen as a team we can definitely push that 20%, but we want to make sure it's not the flip side, that it's not 80% ViSalus and 20% about your life. So,
right.
Just kind of keep it in the middle, but make sure that you're still posting just life stuff.
Okay, so basically what we're saying earlier, I started out talking about the 80-20 rule. So what I'm talking about right now is really the 20% side, because we're talking about ViSalus, just to be very clear. So, and when I say your story, think about it. How many bags of shake have you seen in our videos? Right? You see what I'm saying? So the deal is we're showing you the story, and we are creating the curiosity. How are these people doing this in the middle of the day? I might show you the clock, but I don't show you a bag of shake. But there's something between that time, 12 o'clock in the middle of the day, and the idea that how are these people able to do that? That's really the question you want people to ask, because if you satisfy all their curiosity with your pictures and your stories and everything that you're sharing, then you're not really leaving them anything to ask you. You're not really leaving much on the table in forms of curiosity. Okay, so anyway, be frequent, do it every day, throughout the day, and be very consistent, okay? Next thing, strategies that you're using to communicate your stories. Honestly, I don't even want to get into this one at the moment.
Well, we're going to go into it a little. Yeah,
right.
I was going to say Facebook, yeah.
Yeah, just talking this out, that won't help you very much. So Alyse is going to show you the strategies that you can use to communicate your story. And you guys know you have posts, you have pictures, you have videos, and these are the main things, but how you actually share them with your friends so that your friends can actually share them as well, and actually the story behind it. If you, like I said earlier, there's two levels of your sharing. It's one, you sharing with your friends, and then it's going to be their friends sharing from them as well. And if you really ask and you set this up properly, your story will carry much further than just placing it on your friend's wall, because your friends will get into the cause, into the story of what's going on, and then they'll start to say, hey, check my friend out. This is a cool story.
Yep. All right, cool. Well, I'm going to go ahead and leave this slide. Let's go ahead and go to Facebook. I think I have it open already. Let's see. I do. All right, so I'm going to go to my profile here. And if you're not friends with Eric, make sure that you are, because he's the one that typically posts the videos initially, because they come from his YouTube channel, and then I'll share them, and then other teammates will share them. But make sure that you are definitely friends with him, and I'll actually, let me go to his profile.
And you can subscribe at YouTube.
Oh, yes. I'll also go to the YouTube channel so you guys know what channel it is, and you can subscribe. But his profile is facebook.com/Eric Williams 12, okay, to connect with him directly. Facebook.com/Eric Williams 12. And then let me also go to the YouTube channel. And if you guys are new to YouTube, what subscribing means that once you subscribe, and I'll show you how to do that, that means you'll actually get, when you log into YouTube, you'll see all of your subscriptions' new videos, okay? You won't get a notification or anything like that, but it will, when you log in, you'll see your channels that you have subscribed to, and you'll see any new videos that those channels have posted. So Super Body Challenge is the channel where these videos are typically posted first, and you can just do a search for Super Body Challenge. Then I'm waiting for it to, no, it's not done loading. Then you'll actually go to the channel itself. Sorry, my computer's being slow. So you can do it this way, or you can do youtube.com/user/Super Body Challenge. Okay? But that will show you all of the videos that we have posted so far. And yes, I just got a message. I apologize if you sent me a friend request. I know I am over, and I'm in the process of deleting friends. I realized it's actually faster to do it from my phone than trying to do it from the computer or iPad or anything else. So I'm getting there. I have about 70 more that I need to get rid of to even make room. But I'm doing that. But you can still message me. But I'm working on it. All right, so let's see. I'm going to go to my profile, and just so you guys know, and I will just quickly show you how to, no, that's why it's being so slow. Time for a new laptop. It's on the list. We have 2 iPads, but still need a laptop for stuff like this. Okay. So once my computer catches up, I'm going to scroll to where my pictures and videos are. Come on, do it. Good Lord. I have no patience with computers, if you can't tell. All right, go up. There we go. Okay. Come on, y'all. Sorry, guys. All right. Keep going. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to come to my pictures. Isn't that a cute bunch of people? All right, so let's just give a little tutorial here. Okay, so let's take Beth's, I love this picture. Let's take Beth's picture here of her new license plate, my Ride, which I absolutely love. Which poor Beth, she got totally ridiculed by this guy on this thread, but it was great because we all rallied around her and he basically disappeared. Okay, so if you ever see any teammates or anything by Alyse related and you want to share it, you can hit this share button. And this is going to do a couple things. Number one, when you share, it's going to show up on your profile. And number two is, like Eric said, you can type your little thing, blah, 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 check out Beth's new BMW, check out her license plate. Then you can start to tag people that you want this video or this picture, sorry, to show up on their wall. So let's say I want to tag Eric, okay? So what I did was I hit the @ symbol. I hit the @ symbol and I just started typing a name. Well, I have to be friends with these people in order for these names to pop up. But I can tag, I think this way I can do about 10, 12 people. Okay, so you can just say, hey, I know you've been seeing all these BMWs. This is someone on my team. She just went and got it. You know, works full-time, built this completely on a part-time basis. Check it out. Then when you hit share, like I said, it's going to show up on your wall, and anybody else that you tagged, it's going to show up on their wall as well. Okay? So to do that with a video, you do the exact same thing. Let me scroll down a little more and get a video here. And we have some great videos. So while this is loading, let me just tell you, you can either go to the YouTube channel. If you want to grab it right from the YouTube channel, you can just click on whatever video you want to share. This is Renee's ambush video when we showed up at her house at midnight, the night she hit Ambassador. So you can either just grab this link up here, or you can hit this share button. Come on. Load. And it'll give you a different link. There we go. And you can grab this. I'm not sure what the difference is. This one may be the one that's mobile friendly. I have a feeling. I'm not absolutely sure though. So grab this one. If you want to be sure, go ahead and grab this one. And then you can just post it right to your wall. Then if you want to do that, I was going to show you how to, oh, I'm sorry, real quick while I'm here too. You can also hit this Facebook share button, and this will allow you to automatically tag some people too. So obviously there's several ways to do it. There's no right or wrong way to do it. We love shares though. Shares are awesome. So, and if you just want to stick to being on Facebook, like I said, just see the videos that we're sharing. Any videos that we post will also be put on the team page, so you can also grab them from there. You can't share them from there, but you can click on it and grab the link to it. I'm sorry, this is not probably going to load, but it's the exact same thing. If there's a video, then you can just click on the video, you can hit the share button, tag whoever people you want in there, and it's the exact same process that I just showed you with the picture. So I want to go ahead and wrap things up here. Someone saw my 11,000 emails. I know. I probably have about 10,000 I could clear out of there. It's just not something I take the time to do. So that's it, you guys. I'll stay on if you guys have any additional questions, but this is really simple. We'll just go ahead and come back to these slides over here. This is really what you want to be focused on. You want to be focused on really, really solidifying your story, remember that your story, yes, I will do roll call, no problem. Your story is going to evolve, you guys, okay? So that's also the beauty of it, too, and why people want to stay tuned is because your story is constantly going to be going into revision, okay? So until you have absolutely reached your max goal, and the beautiful thing with Alyse is there is no end to it. Whether it's your physical goal or your financial goal, you really, really never arrive. You just keep getting better. So remember that too. People want to stay in tune to the progress of your story. Where is she at in her story or in her story now? Where is he at in his story? So I really hope this was helpful to you guys. Go ahead and create your story. Go public with your story. Stay active with your story. Be consistent with your story, and let people know what's going on. This is sometimes the highlight of people's day.
And make sure you like and share everything you like. Okay, everything that interests you would likely interest people like you. Okay, so when you share it, it's shared by you. So no matter whose story it is, it's still a story you're sharing. Okay, so you can become the network, operator or owner, so it doesn't matter, okay? Keep that in mind. The people who know you are going to connect with you and thank you because of it. They're not going to say, man, let me call that person that was in that story and thank them for creating the story. They're going to say, hey, they're going to just thank you for sharing it, okay? So
yeah.
Share everyone in the network because we need the cloud to get bigger, so don't hold back. Share everything.
There we go. All right, let's finish up with some roll call. If you have any questions that you want to ask while I'm doing this, now's the time. We have Beth Markham, Betty Holden, Christy Fair, Dar Kemp, Ginger Urban, and just looking at the number here, we had 3 more people on, so sorry, I'm not sure who they were. Jeannie Full, Jeanine Taylor, Jen Rivera, Jennifer McClure, John Sherrick, Joy Bartholomew, Carla Bishop, Melanie Ferlito, Pamela Maynor, Peggy Woods, Rhonda Michael, Rose Swain, Samantha Zeno, Shanna McMillan, Tab Butler, Tara Hodge, Teresa Stewart, Wendy Batten, and Yvette Thomas. Like I said, there were 3 more people on. I am not sure. Okay, hold on. I have a couple questions here. Do you make your Facebook page private or public? Public, absolutely. You want everybody to see your Facebook page. All right. If you don't have any questions, we're going to wrap things up right here. Thanks again, you guys, for tuning in. This is being recorded, so I will get it up there as soon as possible. If there was anybody on your team that was not here, please encourage them to go and watch this training. This is where we really come together as a team in order to, really go viral. And, okay, okay. Yes, you want your Facebook page public, but, yeah, some people say don't make your friends list public. Because sometimes, and this happens very rarely, but sometimes people go in and actually kind of snag some of your friends and try to promote another company or product to them. So if you want to hide your friends list, that may be something that you want to do. But you want your actual profile to be public to everybody. Okay? So that's it, you guys. Great feedback. Great having you on the line. Have a great rest of the night, and we'll talk to you soon.